have my soup, my tea soup, guys. All right, guys. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Tim. Yes, the dogs are good. Animals are good. Everybody's doing great. We're just still trying to organize because we're going away. So we're trying to organize for pet sitters. And of course, me being me, I gave them the wrong dates. So now they can only do some dates. So now I'm freaking out because I'm like, I gotta find somebody else. So I need to chill. But hi, guys, welcome. So for those of you who are new, welcome. So wonderful to have you here. My name is Jacqueline, and we're going to have fun today. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to get some energies going, some healing going, hopefully. Some wisdom's going to come through. So for those of you who don't know, I am a channeler. So when I do readings, essentially I channel information. Let me clean out here. I don't think that made a difference. So oftentimes I don't even know what's going to come out of my mouth. But when it does, it's usually makes sense, I think. Hey, Karen, nice to meet you guys. Allison, welcome. We got Jamie in the house. So you guys, so how it speak English, how my readings go are very simple. So I'm going to start off with a group reading, for the month, for the week, actually, because I tend to do these every week. And then I'm going to do one-on-ones. So essentially, if anybody gives a donation, of course, it's not expected. But if you do give a donation, you lock your position in and you basically get a longer reading. If no donations, no problems. I'll take questions after that. But understand that they can go for a long time. Also, just understand that you're here for a reason. Oftentimes when I do a reading for somebody else, it will resonate with you, or there will be something in there that will help you. I just realized I cut out half of my... No, I'm going to have to even it out now. My OCD kicked in. There we go. Fixed it. Okay, so let's do the reading for the month. I'm so excited to be here with you guys, by the way. So taking a moment, and I'm going to need it. I also didn't get a chance to meditate today, so this makes sense why I'm all over the place. See, guys, meditation. It's a must. Okay, so if you want to hear a message in the group message, just basically give permission to your spiritual team to send me energies, information. And I'm settling my nervous system as well because girl needs help today. Luckily, once I channel, I'm on the flow. So let's see what's coming up. Ooh. Interesting. Okay, so we started off with an intense energy, just so you guys know. Makes sense. Oh, are you serious? Damn, you guys. All right. Thank you, Jane. Okay, guys. So, a lot of energy, intense energy right now. So we got the incarnated demons, we got the shadow walkers, and then we got the cosmic witches. At least it ends on a better note. So the incarnated demons are essentially letting us know that something is disconnected or broken. When you think of people who don't know anything about demons in general, and they're very feared and they're like these scary things, but essentially demons are entities or beings that need some form of exchange in order to survive. They cannot survive on their own fuel, on their own energy, on their own source. Be mindful, this person or circumstance may not have your best interest at heart. This card also calls you to look within to examine your own intentions. Are you acting from a place of love and integrity? Awareness is the first step towards transformation. Okay, so what I'm hearing here most importantly is awareness, okay? So whatever's going on in your life right now, if there's something that isn't working out, something that feels heavy, maybe you're trying to connect with somebody and the connection's just not happening. Maybe you made some sort of agreement with somebody business-wise and something's telling you something's a little bit off, or maybe you're acting out of character, okay? Because that can also happen sometimes. What it's basically calling for right now is awareness. So I can give you an example. Literally, I've been having this conversation 2 minutes ago with my husband where I am incredibly triggered when we have to go away. I have a lot of trauma from childhood for not feeling safe, and I I've learned to basically figure out what it is that I need in that situation from him in order not to make me become aggressive or angry or frustrated. Now, it takes a lot of self awareness to do that because it's actually not very easy to know how to communicate what I need, and that really is what it comes down to. So whatever's going on in your life right now, what is it that you need? What is that primal need? And for me is safety, for instance. So I was like, I need you to take control of the situation, because if you don't take control, then I will, and I will overcompensate by being extra, and we don't like that. So if you can do this for me, again, the exchange, right? But in a positive way, then I can be like this. But if I don't get what I need from them, then I need to overcompensate by being a certain way, whatever it is. So this is an energy basically that's coming up at the moment because maybe there's some shadows coming to the surface. There are some things that basically need to be resolved, need to be fixed, need to be communicated properly. The other one that we got is Shadow Walker. Shadow Walker is essentially the death card. So it's not a bad thing, but what it's saying right now is that we're in between. So it's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. A lot of you are not making full decisions. A lot of you aren't committing to something maybe, or you want to do something, but you're not quite sure. So this card essentially is asking you to make that commitment, to make that decision so that you can kill off the old and walk into the new. So whatever that is, I'm not quite sure what it is for you, but and also the other thing that I love about this card is says that you have to accept sometimes that you may not have all the answers. You know, sometimes we don't make a decision because we want all the answers right here, right now. We need to know everything right now. And because we don't know it, we're just like, oh, well, I'm just going to let for a sign, or I'm going to wait for the universe to give me. I'm like, you are the universe. The universe tells you when you are ready from within. So within, so without. So what we think is actually happening from the outside is really an internal decision that manifests on the outside and speaks to us. So you got to make that decision essentially, and not to be afraid of making the wrong decision, because there is really no such thing. It's just a choice, and then there's a better choice or another choice, really. But the good news is cosmic witches. Okay, so we end on the cosmic witches. So the cosmic witches are here to remind you to reach for the stars. Do not place limitations on what you can and cannot do. Believe in yourself and take your dreams as far as they can go. Think big and cosmic. This card is also a reminder that you, my friend, are made of stardust. So I love this card because what this is saying right now is that these two cards essentially are fear, constriction, and limitation. So the reason why all of these energies are happening is because deep down, you don't believe that you can achieve it. You don't believe that there is another way. You don't see other possibilities. You don't believe in yourself to be able to do it or achieve it or whatever. And so this card is saying you got to remember in the magic, in the possibilities, in the opportunities, things can change like that. Right now, things might not feel like there is another door, there is another possibility. But it's also because inside of you don't see it. And then sometimes when we tune into this, like, I just trust, I know it's going to work out, which is what I've been telling myself today. I was like, look, things didn't work out that way, but I have to trust that something better is going to come through. Even though I don't feel it right now, I'm making that internal decision. But then suddenly it elevates the frequency, and now we can open up the door for more things to come in. So that internal shift, suddenly also you're no longer seeking that energy, that resolution from something else or from someone else. You're receiving it from within yourself, because again, you are the universe. So you have to remember that. Cool. Well, there you go. So that's the message for today. Resist controlling the outcome. Yes. I mean, it's natural that we want to control it, because again, we want to know what's going to happen. We need that safety, we need that reassurance, but that's not how life works, really. You know, going with the flow. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and sometimes I always say though, be careful with not going with the flow as in like, oh, well, I'm surrendering, I'm just let it happen. It's more like I'm trusting my intuition. I'm trusting what the universe is saying. I'm trusting myself enough to know whatever comes, I can handle it, as opposed to like, it has to go down this way, you know? Because sometimes in the spiritual community, I met a lot of people who are just like, yeah, whatever will be. And I'm like, it drives me nuts, because I'm just like, that means that you're literally not like making decisions, or you're surrender, you know, again, I don't know how to describe it. There's a difference between like surrendering and letting the flow go than and just being like, you know, trust centering. Oh, I like that. That's way better. I love that word. Cool. All right, guys. So I'm ready to take questions. Like I said, if anybody gives a donation, you just get a longer reading. Again, not expected. So whenever you guys are ready, I'm just going to start a list now. So you guys, whoever wants a reading, let me know. Mimi. Okay, Luz. Dawn. Thank you, Trish. Karen, thank you. Cool. I got the guinea pig sneezing in the background. Oh, okay, cool. Luz. Okay, so since whoever gave the donation, so right now we have Trish, Karen, and Luz. Then we have Dawn. And then Mimi, I have you still, okay? Just you're going to just be after these guys. Oh, yay! Well, Karen, I'm so excited that you're here. Okay, Mimi, give the donation anyway. Okay, I was still gonna do it. It's just the list kind of went that way. Yay! Okay, Jess, I got you down to. And if for whatever reason, guys, I miss your name. I mean, I have the ones who given donations, but if anybody messaged and said that I wanted to do it, just remind me, please, okay? Because sometimes I do miss it, and I don't want you to be upset or offended. Sometimes I just get involved. Okay, so we've got Trish first. Lonnie, I got you down. Thank you. Carla. Thank you. You mean this one? It's very grounding today. I need it. Heading to a conference this week and would love a message about energy for this weekend. Okay, Trish, let's find out. So give me a second. Oh, and by the way, guys, I've got a new sure, Lonnie, I've got the list. So the Lonnie is Trish, Karen Q, Luz, Dawn, Mimi, and then you're last, my love. Thank you, Carla. You're welcome. So you can come back. You know, it's going to take a little while, or you can just hang around, whatever. And of course, guys, if I miss you for whatever reason, you can always message me. So no stress. Okay, sorry. Going back to Trish. Heading to a conference this week and would love a message about energy for this week. Okay. Ooh, I like that. So did you guys know that? Jane, ghosted. What do you mean? Missed but okay. What do you mean? Oh, that's hot. I actually went really hot. Okay. It's very interesting how I feel energy sometimes. Sometimes it's like electricity, but usually I get like heat in my hands. Okay, let's find out. Do I have you down, Jane? Did you ask for a reading? I don't know if you asked. I don't see the donation, so maybe you asked for it. Enjoyed your holiday, much love. Oh, I see. Thank you. Yes, because I went to Lake Tahoe. Now I gotcha. Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it. I went snowboarding, which it's my third time snowboarding, and I did really well. So, I mean, I'm very athletic though, so I work out all the time, but not to brag. I'm like, I love it how humble I am sometimes, not. I'm like, because I'm very athletic. Well, I am, but I don't mean it that way. Hopefully you understand. It's just I pick up things physically very quickly. My mom would get that sometimes and sensation too. She'd call her a healing hand. I love that. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever done like It's hard to be humble sometimes, Tim. Yeah, I'm not, I mean, if you guys look up actually the word humble, it's actually not good. Apparently it's like putting yourself beneath something, which I would never recommend too. Obviously, don't be egotistical either. That's not great either, but it's like you want to just be equal, Um, not my ego though. I have a big ego. I was reading the numerology book the other day on my numbers, and one of the things that it said is something about like bigger than thou personality, like grandiose kind of sense of self. And I was like, I mean, possibly. I was almost diagnosed with borderline personality disorder when I was younger. So I was like, that's part of the mental illness. So I was like, well, I don't have that anymore, I don't think. But, sometimes she comes out. Ooh, okay. I love this, Trish. So I got quiet time, new opportunities, and dreams come true. Luckily, I never had the ego thinking that I had a. Oh, okay. No, that's true. I did think I could be a rapper at one point. That was a sad time in my life. I was smoking way too much weed at the time. So that was not good. It was slightly delusional. How Jacqueline dramatic? What? I know. I did. I thought I could be a rapper, you guys. After Iggy Azalea came out, I was like, rapping, easy. I can do it. No, I can't rap to save myself. Oh, come here. Come to me, darling. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to get all the cards out. Okay, so Trish, one of the things that's coming through right now is quiet time. Okay, so this is really a time for you. I know you said about the business thing, so it's good. But the quiet time essentially is like spending more time in reflection. Carlos like, not a rapper. Dude, I was going to be the best rapper of all time. Miss J was going to be my name. Anyway, so quiet time. So it's really, this is a great time for you to go really within and checking in with yourself. And I feel like one of the things that I'm hearing here is like reminding yourself of what it is that you're trying to shift, your boundaries. Does this align with what you're looking for? So, and it's also like the emotions that you're feeling within, like really just being in tune, self-aware, like we did with the opening, being as self-aware as possible, like understanding what it is that you want, what it is that you need. And there's a reason for this. I don't know why they're asking me to say this, but I think it's because whenever you're coming into this meeting, you want to come in with very clear intention and focus. Like, what you want, where you're going, and what's happening. I don't know what this meeting is about, but the good news is it did say new opportunity. So I don't know if this meeting is going to offer a new opportunity or it's going to possibly open up doors, but I do see that this is like changing something or opening the door for something or a portal or something. So it's creating new energy. It's creating something new that allows you maybe to move forward, to go in a new direction. I'm not quite sure. And then dreams come true. So reminding yourself that, I guess this is like, I feel like this is like something that is like motivating that shift, that thing that you've been asking for. So it's possibly like creating some kind of energetic cycle that is allowing you to be more in alignment with what it is that you're trying to change. Do we hear anything else? I don't hear anything else about that. The other thing that we got is the warlocks invite you to see the truth, even if it is painful, dark, and mysterious. Do not be afraid, for fear will only control you. Instead, acknowledge the shadows within you, and from there, choose who you want to become. Avoiding the truth will only cast more shadows. So, again, this is the reflective thing that I'm seeing, right, with these two cards. What I'm getting here, it's like, when we sit with ourselves and we're making these decisions, it's not even just about like looking at the things that we want, the things that make us feel good. It's also looking at the things that we don't want. Hey, Catherine, that are painful sometimes. Looking at the shadows within us and why do we need these things so badly? One of the things that I was looking at, even a lot of again, I've been studying a lot of like the rich people and all that sort of stuff. But one of the things that they said is like, you have to be, at some point, you have to create a level of pain to motivate you to make that change happen. Because if you're comfortable, if you're relaxed or whatever, everything's like cozy, you're not going to really change out of that. So I'm not saying like torture yourself, but I'm just saying like, what are the pain points that are causing this desire for you to move forward, and reminding yourself why this is so important. Because sometimes we have to look at those shadows to go, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I cannot keep putting myself through this, or keep repeating these cycles, or keep whatever it is, right? So it's very important to look at the light and the shadow, to all of the aspects of everything, to make this decision. And again, Trish, I love this card. We just got it before. I think this message as well, it's for you. Don't be afraid to think big and step out of your comfort zone and ask for more. You gotta be okay with asking for more for yourself, especially if you work very hard, and you know that you can, like, you know, I think hard workers know at the end of the day, it's like, I can do it as long as like I'm dedicated, I'm focused, I'm gonna put the work in. But somebody who's lazy, it's usually trying to get away with it. So I don't feel like that's you. I feel like you do work hard. So it's okay for you to ask for that extra, whatever it is like, listen, I mean, I put the freaking work in, and maybe this is part of the pain point. And it's okay to say, I'm done, like, being taken advantage of, or I'm done, like, getting paid this much for the amount of work that I put in. My value is much higher, speaking about ego, by the way, and not being humble. But you see what I mean? This is an example of why humble isn't always great. So yes, humble is a beautiful thing. But again, I don't like the word humble because of its actual meaning. It's like, see yourself as equal, but what does that mean? Because like, really, if we're all made in the image of God, or whatever that you believe in, our worth is very high. And we always put ourselves beneath what we're really worth. And the people who do get to the top are the people who really do see that within themselves and others, not just themselves. So if you see that in somebody else, why not see that in yourself? But it's so much easier for us to look at somebody who's like, I don't know, struggling, and go, oh yeah, I see myself in that. But in somebody who's very successful and somebody who's thriving, we reject that idea a lot of the times, because we're like, oh, I could never have that. They're just lucky, or they just knew the right people. And those are very bad poverty mindset kind of ideas. It's like, no, you can have that, and you can have that. But you gotta believe that you can have it, because if you don't believe it, obviously it's not going to be in your frequency. Like-minded connections. Thank you. I appreciate this message. Okay, great. So Trish, so whatever it is, I'm not quite sure what this meaning is, and it might be connecting with somebody who has that and might be able to help you to open up some doors. I don't know, but it's looking good. Okay, so I love that for you. And please come back and let me know, because I'm curious to know what that message is about now. All right, Lauren, wait, is it Lauren? One second. No, Karen, sorry. Can't read my own writing, guys. We know that. My handwriting is so bad. Karen, all right, love, what's your question? It was modesty. Is that Maya Angelou rejected? Humility. Useful. Modesty, not useful. I like that distinction. Yeah, I love that, Carla. See what I mean? Like, we, a lot of the times, guys, and it's designed this way, by the way, a lot of the words that we think are everyday words, if you look at the etymology of them, some of them are not good. And we were taught to say them like they were good and positive, but the energy behind them, they're actually very negative. And so this is one of the ways, if you believe in the whole like 1% controlling us, that's one of the ways that they do it. Correct. So we don't know the difference, and we're ignorantly saying those things. I'm getting hot. Okay, Karen, I wanted a general guidance message, please. Okay, give me 1 second, because she's getting hot. Okay. So I did feel drama. Am I the drama? I am dramatic, I will say that. Okay, sorry, I'm just getting the cards. I don't have a lot of space here today. Let me just move you. Get back, guys. So marvelous, darling. Yes, absolutely. Hey, Karen, let's see. I told you there would be a lot of drama in this life. I got up this morning, I had like 5 auditions that I had to do, so I'm in acting mode already. Ooh. Ooh, I like this. She's in theater mode, darling. Theater. Okay, and I feel like my cards. All right, Karen. So, I'm liking these cards, man. Ooh, okay. Sorry, I'm just going to get a couple of more because I like to get the whole picture, but I'm already getting information. Whee! Wow, you got this twice. All right. So, what I'm hearing here, Karen, is that you've been trying to manifest something. You've been focused or wanting to achieve something or manifest something. And what they've actually given me is what you need to do in order to make it happen. So twice I got the Aladdin genies, and then twice 2 Aladdin genies here. Make a wish. 2 different cards, by the way. So make a wish, dreams become reality, a joyful time in your life. And then again, I got the Aladdin genies. Magic awaits those who dare to discover. So follow your curiosity and let the journey begin. So what I'm hearing though is like, this is something like, I think you believe in the manifestation. I think you've been working on it, but it's just not quite happening for you yet. And there's a reason for that. So the major arcana that you got here is that you need to change your perspective. There needs to be a shift in the way that you look at this desire, this manifestation. Excuse me. Because it says there's a better way, pause or reflect, and insight, dare to be different. So it's asking you to do something out of your comfort zone, out of what you know and what you've been doing. So it's almost like you got to try something different, like you're on the right path, but it's like something needs to shift. I'm not quite sure what that is though. It's almost like you just got to change even like the way that you see the manifestation or you see the goal. Because I think the way that you've been approaching it, it has some sort of energy that essentially it's like not pushing it away, but making it difficult to get there. And again, this is something that is subconscious. I don't think you're aware of it. I think you think you're doing everything right, but there is something there that it has like the energy of lack, or I can't have that, or it's too impossible, it's too difficult. So it needs to change. What I love though is that behind all of this is like the buildup of the energy that you have been creating over time. So material needs get fulfilled in magical and unexpected ways, acts of kindness, giving and receiving with a grateful heart. So there is a lot of abundance that you've been like building up, this energy that you have like been filling up all this time. It's almost like I see this container, but it's like the lid needs to be opened up, and that's the last block. That's the last thing that needs to change. Again, same thing. You see this light above that's shining underneath. So what it's saying is like you need to return back to your nature. They encourage you to return to what is healthy, nurturing, and aligned with your true self. It's time to release any toxic habits or traits that no longer serve you. Ground yourself, listen to nature's guidance, and embrace the changes necessary to achieve this transformation. So what does it mean to go back to your nature, right? We think of like, oh, I'm being myself, but like we have to remember that we have to question everything, because what we might think is who we are could just be a whole bunch of programming and conditioning that we have just built up, and we're not aware that this is not really who we are, but we feel comfortable in it, so it feels like who we are. And so I think that the perspective here, it's like to question things, question whether this is really something for you, whether this is who you really are. Like, be open to asking questions that are not usually within the comfort, because I think that's where you're going to get the answer. That's where you're going to discover it. But I don't think, again, I don't feel like you're doing the wrong things. It's just, again, changing that perspective, being a little bit more open, widening your perspective a little bit more. I hope this is resonating because it's making sense to me, but I don't know if it's coming across. So the final card is that you got the incarnated cherubs. So incarnated cherubs love to be in love, and they ask you to reflect. Are you more in love with the idea of something than the reality of it? Be mindful of perfectionism and the high standards you place on yourself and others. Love is meant to be felt, not just idealized. Reconnect with your heart and embrace the beauty in imperfection. Let go of unrealistic expectations and allow love to flow naturally, both with you and in your connections with others. And again, it's this reflection. You see, she's looking at herself in the mirror, but she's kind of like rejecting her own image. So again, there could be this thing where it's like you're projecting something that might not really be what you think it is. So it's long story short, what I'm hearing here is that there needs to be a change of perspective here somehow. Just opening up your mind a little bit and start questioning if these things are really who you are, or it's just something that your ego wants for safety, for validation, or maybe it's just something that you think that that's going to really bring you happiness, and then deep down you realize it's like, maybe that's not what I want. If you're trying to manifest, for instance, like even a relationship, you might be looking and projecting all these ideas onto this person that you think are ticking all the boxes, but then is it really what you want? Because deep down, maybe you want somebody who has other qualities that this thing that you think you're going to get it in them, such as, let's just say we want like a multimillionaire. Okay, let's just put it out there. Great. Who doesn't, by the way? But what that really comes a lot of the times with this person is going to be very career driven. They're going to be very focused on this and this and that. So you can still have that, but then you have to be more specific about what it is deep down, why you want that money. It's maybe the security or the freedom. So if you want the freedom, then maybe getting somebody who's like a multi-millionaire or billionaire, they work a lot. So there might not be as much freedom in that. So can you have somebody who's like very financially stable or growing, where we can work? I don't know, whatever, but you see where I'm going here with. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what it is that you've been trying to manifest, but that's basically what's coming up. Does that make sense? That tea is so good. My lips are so dry. Oh my gosh. I can't handle it. Okay, it's resonating so much. I really thought I was doing all the right things to meet my goals, but maybe I need to peel back the layers and change my perspective, like you said. Yeah. Especially if it's like, and I think what they're saying is like, it's not like you've been doing everything wrong, but I feel like they're telling you the last bit to get there. There's something that needs to be refined and change your perspective on in order just to speed up the process to manifest it. So it's that one key ingredient, because everything else looks good. And sometimes with goals, it's like really the why. I think it always comes down to the root of it, because if you don't have a strong why, you're going to eventually give up on it. Stepping out of my comfort zone. Yeah. So it could be stepping out of your comfort zone, whatever that means to you. And again, even what I was saying before, to Trish, it's like sometimes we have to create a level of pain. And again, not suffering. There's a big difference between pain and suffering. Let's remember that. But a level of pain where you're like, that is not what I want. Ow, like that sucks. No, I'm gonna work on making this feel better for myself. Hey Debbie, welcome, my love. So does that make sense? So you can figure it out and you can ask your spiritual team to help you, but basically everything else apart from that looks good. You're doing everything else right except for that one freaking thing. So it'd be nice if you guys told me what it is specifically, but I guess it's for you to figure out. So does that make sense? I got this weird song in my head now. So Karen, do you feel like you got everything that you needed, or do you have any more questions before we move on? Yes, it does. Thank you. I actually don't know what it could be. It could be several things though, but thank you. Yeah, I mean, I feel like really the hint was something about like high expectations, and I think it really comes down to changing perspective, so asking more questions. And I think go back to the drawing board, and I think it's going to come to you. I don't think it's something that you have to like struggle to find out. It's just you never put the light, you never shone the light upon it, so it never came to light. So the minute you start saying, maybe there is something there, it will come to light. I will say a suggestion here. Yeah. I will say a suggestion here. I don't know if you've ever heard of automatic writing or psychography. That usually helps a lot because it's subconscious stuff. So you can literally do a session where you set the timer for about 10 minutes. Usually is a good time to write nonstop. Don't stop writing. Don't worry about punctuation. Don't worry about anything. Just write the first thing that literally comes out of your head. Do not worry if it doesn't make any sense. Okay. So you've got to start with a question and you're going to ask something very specific, but you're also going to ask it to a part of you. So oftentimes how psychography works is you're going to take 5 minutes to meditate prior, and then you're going to take pen and paper and you're going to write something like, to the, I would say higher self is always good. To my higher self, write to me and through me anything that I need to know right now that is blocking blah, blah, blah. And you finish the sentence. So to my higher self, write to me and through me anything that I need to know right now, and just let the pen flow. Sometimes that helps because it taps into the subconscious mind, but you cannot stop writing, literally. And if you get mental blank, just go repeat the question over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And if nothing comes out, then just keep going, but set the timer for 10 minutes, and that's usually how eventually information starts seeping through. Cool. Well, best of luck, and come back and let me know, because that'd be great. I would love to know what that is. Luz, or light, as we have discovered. I need clarity about my spiritual path for this year. Okay, cool. Do you want to give me your numerology as well, if you don't mind, just because it does help a lot of times when it comes to the year. So you'll, if you know your life path number, or just give me your date of birth. You're a 1. Okay, awesome. So this is going to be a 2-year for you. Okay. So the 2 basically means unity, working with feminine energy, receptivity. Psychic abilities are going to be on point this year as well. So your intuition is going to be very heightened. It's called automatic writing or psychography, but nobody knows psychography. I was going to write it down. Automatic writing. And by the way, I'm just going to pin some of my stuff here, guys. I got a manifestation mastery class here if anybody wants to do it as well. I'm just going to pin it below for you guys for this year. Is a good one. So Laz, so this is a great year essentially for you to work with others, partnership, that kind of thing, because it's the number 2. So let's see what else wants to come out. This definitely was hot. Getting hot, hot, hot. Ooh, okay. Okay. And I got a new course coming out on Insight Timer, guys. It's going to be teaching you how to do numerology. I don't know when they're going to release it. They said it was going to be approved, but I haven't seen it being released yet. So teaches you how to learn your own numerology, and of course for other people as well. And then you can also calculate your year number. So the year number is if you know your life path, and then you add the year number, which is the number 1 this year. Committed romantic relationship being swept off your feet. Situation that makes your heart flutter. Ooh. Romance. I see romance in the air. Okay. And I see study. Okay. It's going to be an interesting year for you. Oopsies. Okay. Righto. So I got a couple of things here. This is going to be a very big growth year for you, Laz. It's interesting how we said the number 2, because the first card that came out was like a romantic card. Like, I don't know if you're in a relationship or not. I'm not always very good at picking that up. Sometimes I am, but I'm not feeling it specifically. But what I'm hearing here though essentially is like this is a year for you to work on relationships. So the number 2 as well is in alignment with that. However, I do see financial stuff as well. So one second. I think it's a combination of both because I think there's some sort of connection to both. Sometimes we don't make that correlation that, if like we're struggling financially, we don't understand. We think it's just, oh, I just have a bad relationship with money. But that relationship with money could be linked to something like your relationship with your parents or your unworthiness. And so you're not just manifesting that lack, with money, you're also manifesting it in relationships. Some people are good at one or the other, and sometimes it's both. Somehow they both have some kind of connection. So I feel like this is something maybe to do with you as well. Okay, so I don't know what's going on, Laz, but I do see, again, we got here a new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. Heightened psychic abilities. So I don't know if you're in a relationship or not, but somebody new is coming in. It could also be a friendship. It could also be, if you're already in a relationship, it could mean something outside of that. But you did get the lovers as well. So don't know, let me know if you're in a relationship or not, or you're looking for a new relationship, because if you are looking for a new relationship, then that is coming in for sure. But if not, again, it could mean deepening the relationship with the person, or it could mean a new relationship. Okay, great. So it does mean that. I'm always scared to say it because I'm like, am I just projecting this, or is this like, it's kind of obvious here. So yes. So I don't know if that's what you've been manifesting, but there's 3 cards here on relationships. Okay. So a new relationship is definitely obviously coming in this year. I mean, they cannot scream at me anymore. They're like, a new relationship enters your life, immediate relationship, and then committed romantic relationship. So I got 3 cards that say that. Love that for you. Now, this is not even just like I don't think this is like a light relationship. This is like a very deep relationship. It's going to be like an impactful one. So, but the other thing that I got is like what I'm hearing here as well is like there's some kind of lesson with this. So there is study. What I feel like this relationship is going to do, it's really going to help you heal some of the stuff from the past where you've had blocks around unworthiness, where you've had issues in relationships. I felt like there was some kind of study and relationship. And again, this is the number 2 for you this year. So it is the number of relationships for you. And I feel like it's going to repair a lot of the poverty mindset around all of these things. So whether it is being worthy of love, whether it is having a healthy relationship, a safe relationship, I don't know what that is, or somebody who's actually genuinely committed and just treats you well. But also, it's also like you have a lot of, like, even here it's saying, ask the angels for helpful people to lighten your load, working too many hours, trying too hard to please others. So there's like this, that you've been carrying everybody else's crap as well as your own for quite some time. And I think you take on more than you should. And I think this person's going to teach you that you don't have to do that anymore, that you don't have to carry everything by yourself. You don't have to do everything by yourself. So I think this is going to be a very good relationship for you. I think it's really going to help you build up that self-worth, build up that you can change the old habits of doing things because they haven't really been serving you the best way. Sorry, I'm just laughing because this card is like, a new emotional situation, message regarding a relationship, a social invitation, a great intuitive insights. So I think what's going to happen here, Les, is you're going to have a big relationship this year. I don't know. They're kind of like making it obvious. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your option, creative solution. So, I mean, I love it. I don't know. So the other thing that I think it's going to also affect, though, it's going to influence as well, once again, other parts of your life, which I think that's what I was picking up on before. So this relationship is going to make you feel a little bit more valued and a little bit more seen. And again, it's going to increase your self-worth. So it's going to have an impact on other areas of your life, because once you have greater self-worth, you no longer allow or tolerate certain things anymore. You have a much less tolerance for BS and for being treated in a certain way. And that can also influence friends and family, because sometimes, you know, we put up with stuff because one, we don't think that we're worthy, and two, we just think that that's just normal. But then when somebody else comes in and shows us another way, this is something that I've been experiencing lately a lot, even with my husband and his family. It's like just seeing how great they are with each other and just realizing how terrible my family treats each other themselves. It's like that realization that one, you once thought it was normal and okay, now you realize it's like, that is not okay, man. That is so not okay. Like, that is unacceptable. So it changes your perspective, and it changes your reaction and your relationship to other situations because of that impact. And again, you don't put up with it anymore. So I don't tolerate fighting with my parents anymore, because I'm just like, I'm not doing this. It's not going to go anywhere. I don't have time for this stupidity because nobody's going to do anything about it. So I just cut the conversation short, and then that's it now. I don't even allow the argument to start anymore. Hey, Silverback's in the house. So does that make sense, Les? But I'm excited for you, because this is a relationship. Like, they cannot tell me any more about this freaking relationship. They want you to know he's coming. Or he, she, whatever you're into. But I'm like, all right, okay. I just wanted to make sure that you were single, because also what I'm worried sometimes is that when people are already in a relationship, it can sometimes mean you're gonna break up. And I don't want to be the person telling you that, but luckily you don't. So that makes me feel better. So good for you, man, because a lot of people really want this. So I would suggest now just being one of the ways that you can manifest love as well. I do have a course on this, by the way. Here we go. It's Attract Your Soulmate. This is a great course, by the way, guys, for anybody who wants to attract love, because it teaches you basically the fundamentals on loving yourself first, behaving like you already have that. Oh, you got that card as well this morning. That's amazing. I love that. Dude, you like the triple confirmation. But even though you know that it's coming, it's like good to do the work, because that kind of, you can be very specific on the qualities and the things that you want from this partner. So you can make sure that it's a safe relationship, which I felt like it was with this one, but yeah. Hey. So, I mean, I'm so happy for you, love. Best of luck. All right, Dawn. Moving down the list, guys. You're a 9. Okay. So if you're a life path 9, this means this is going to be a 1 year for you. Okay. So this is a year of new beginnings, Dawn, for you. It's a great year for you to start new projects, and it's doubled. So because it's a 1 year, you can think of it also with dual meanings. So 1, 11 as well. So it's a portal for you. It's a great year for you to start new ideas, new projects. These are also like long-term things for what's to come in the future. So whatever you want to start now, think of it kind of like the thing that you want to build over time. So 1 is the self as well. So a lot of self-development, a lot of self-awareness, a lot of self-discovery. And it's a masculine energy. So this is like a very like doing things and less sitting down and thinking about it. Although you are number 9. So number 9 is actually a feminine number. So 9s, by the way, just be aware with the 9s that you guys have to be very careful who you surround yourself with, because you absorb that energy. So 9s, if they hang around, apparently there's like this theory that there's a lot of 9s in rehabs, for instance. And the reason for that is because whoever they hang around with, they become. My mom's a number 9, for instance. But you guys are very adaptable, which is a great thing, but it depends who you hang around. So if I was a 9, I'd be hanging around with a lot of rich people. I'm like, you're wealthy, let me hang out with you, you know, because I'm like, then you absorb that energy and you become like them. 9s also apparently are, and this is true for my mom, they are very, they care a lot about their looks. So they care a lot about the way that they appear on the outside as well. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. But my mom is like crazy about that. So even though she doesn't really like do makeup and stuff, but like the way that she dresses and the way her house is, and plus she's a Virgo on top of that. So that combo is extra. Okay, but let's find out. So let's see what's coming through. So just so you know, if you want to start anything new this year, this is the year for you to do it, okay? Goody gumdrops. Karen, I'm a 9, I'm a Virgo too. Dude, that combo, a 9 and a Virgo, dude, you guys, my mom has got like really bad OCD. So, yeah. But you guys are also like the humanitarians. You care, you really do everything because you want to be loved. You want like, so there's also that, like the John Lennons and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you just got to be careful again of who you surround yourself with, guys. And a Cancer. Okay, so very emotional, love. She's got all of the feelings. What's that scene from that film? She's like, I'm an actress. I have all of the feelings. So Cancers, you guys are very emotional. Okay. Nice. You're a Gemini 11. Hey, so you got a master number, buddy. Number 11s are very charming. As we know, Silverback. But you guys have big life lessons in this lifetime. So whenever I see master numbers 11, 22, and 33s, 33 is a little bit different, but usually 11 and 22s means that this lifetime you have to break some kind of cycle or karma from previous lifetimes to shift the energy for the future lifetimes. Okay, so Dawn, a couple of things here. So you got a few major arcanas, which we like. So the first card that we got is decisions. Release yourself from that which holds you back. A need to detox unnecessary worry based on lack of self-confidence. So whatever you're trying to do, wherever you're trying to go this year, Dawn, you got to let go of certain things. You can't take it all with you. It's not going to help you. And sometimes we hold on to things because it's kind of like, oh, I might need that later, or this might serve me later. But then sometimes it's just you're carrying more weight with you than is necessary. So this is kind of like detoxing your system. And again, with you being a 9, this could be habits, people, circumstances, thoughts, whatever it may be. So what are these things that you know that are holding you back or weighing you down, that are serving you obviously in some way or another because you wouldn't have them around, but are they truly something that are really serving you? So does that make sense? It's almost like more convenience, I think it's the best word to put it. And I'm not saying that you're abusing or taking advantage or anything. We all have this kind of way of doing things, but it's like releasing the things that no longer align with this new version or with this goal or with this year, because they're weighing you down. Okay, very simple. They're going to slow down the process. It's not going to make it easy for you to get there. And again, because you're a 9, it's going to triple down and slow down the process. A wonderful new idea. Don't allow bumps in the road to hinder your progress. Clear up communication and problems with others. Okay, so again, whatever these things that are holding you back, clear them out. Okay, this is the year for you to get these things fixed, sorted, because again, they're slowing you down. But the good news is something new is coming in. So either it's already an idea that you've had for this year, a new goal, a new vision, but something new is coming in, and this is the start of something for the future. So again, they're reminding you though, you got to clear out the shit, excuse my French, because that stuff is weighing you down. And if you just clear it out now and rip that band-aid now, it's just going to make the process much smoother. Next, you needing to go through your current challenges alone. Help is nearby. Negative thoughts create self-fulfillment prophecy. So there's a lot of beliefs, patterns, ways that you think. Again, I feel like these are part of the things that you got to start releasing. Okay, so these ways that you're thinking, again, you hold on to them, because what I'm fearing, maybe there's fear behind it. What I'm feeling here, these are very much though attached to past traumas. So there is a ego bond, if you like, with it. There's like this is just how it's been for so many years. This is just what I'm used to. But that again is the stuff that's slowing you down. I'll give you an example, like things I have to use my mom because she's just so easy to read for me. But like bless her heart, like I've noticed lately that all she does is complain. Like all she does is complain. And no matter how many times I've tried to explain to her, I was like, Mom, I get it that things are hard, but like you live in an apartment in Sydney, you have a job that you like your life is good. But she makes it so dramatic and over the top. She's like, oh, it's a nightmare. Like she'll express it that intensely. And I'm like, That's not why. And it's just a habit that she's built up and that she's not aware of, but she doesn't understand how self-destructive that behavior and even just that attachment to that way of expressing herself is. I'm not going to preach her about it because she's an adult, she can figure it out. But when I'm looking at it from the outside, it's like, it's not a nightmare. It's not that bad. Like, you're making it so much worse than what it really is, right? So these things we don't realize are having such a negative impact on us. And to us are just daily things that we do every day because it's just what we've been doing for so long. But we're not aware of the fact that it's time to change that, especially if you're trying to manifest something new, especially if you're trying to create something new. You can't bring the old with you into the new. It's not going to work. It's going to make things way worse. Okay, so the other thing is I'm getting some conflict here. I don't know if you're having conflict with other people. It's come up twice. So whenever I get the fire sign with this one, it usually means conflict, issues with somebody else. Yes, I'm considering a move. Maybe that is the new and trying to get over the fear of it. Possible, and even the fear, right? The fear of what? I get it. Like, change. Okay, totally get it. But really, when you go into it, is it really like a fear that is like you're amplifying in your mind because you're attached to like that safety, or is it like really a valid fear, right? But again, so we're going here with the conflict stuff, okay? So there's some sort of conflict happening, whether it's within you or outside of you. And again, these are the things that you need to resolve. And they're telling you, once you resolve all this, it's going to be much easier. It's going to make it much easier for you to move forward. So the last two cards is got the Dreamer and Balance. So these are two major arcanas, by the way. So what I love about these ones, so I'm just going to put this one here so it can help you guys. A leap of faith, follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities. Okay, so doors are going to open up for you this year for sure, and you just got to just go into it. Sometimes it's one of those things, especially the year of the horse this year, and it's a fire horse. One of the things that they're saying a lot of is like, do it first, then think about it later. Oftentimes I would not give that advice. But in this situation, there's an energy of like, you got to take action. You got to move forward. You'll figure it out as you go. And this year is really requesting that because it's a movement forward kind of year. It's not like, I'm going to prep myself and I'm just going to make sure. And then by the time that the thing is gone and then that opportunity's moved on. So the Dreamer is like having that leap of faith and jumping into things without quite knowing whether you're going to land or not, but just taking that risk. So it's a bit more of a year for you, Dawn, to take those risks. And then finally, the Balance card, the need to balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing, which is the opposite of what I just said. Well, actually, no, it's not. That's actually nothing to do with that. So again, balancing out your emotions, Dawn, that's the most, it just keeps coming up as a theme here. The balancing out, the clearing out, that's really what I feel like you really need to focus on in order to help yourself to move forward this year. So if you can get those things sorted, the perfect timing will show up, the opportunities will show up, and then you just have to jump into them. It's not bad. It's just a lot of clearing and cleansing and letting go, which is not easy, but it's very doable because you're in control of that. That's the key point of it. I'm glad, Dawn. Well, best of luck. You've got this. You can figure this out, okay? It's perfect when you feel it, and then you just need to go for it. I love that, Juliana. Okay, Mimi. Hey girl, what's going on? I'll start rapping for you guys. So bad. Oh my gosh. I do have some music out there. Oh, I'm funny. What's your question, Mimi? Tim Silverback, drop a beat. Okay, business and outlook for 2026. All right. This one I felt. Oops. Look inside yourself and you'll see. Ooh. Oh, wow. So this card fell out, and then I shuffled the cards and it fell out again. So I actually asked him, I said, if it falls out again, then this is like a big message. And it was the look inside yourself. Very interesting. Oh, I like that. That's how you know the cards want to come out. It's like if they repeat, it's like that's like 100% confirmation. Oh, shoot. Shoot. Okay. So obviously this card is very important because it came up twice. So look inside yourself. Hey, Michelle, nice to see you. Yes, absolutely. So I've got Mimi right now, and then I've got Loney on the list. I also have somebody who's waiting, possibly Jess. But yeah, that's the list right now, my love. So look inside yourself. So what I'm seeing here, though, Mimi, is actually a lot of the times, you see how she's trapped in a spider web? So I feel like something on the outside is preventing you from going on the inside. It's almost like you want to, you've been trying to, but there's something that like is holding you back from looking within you, or from taking that step, or whatever it is. It could be something on the inside that's stopping you from taking that leap or moving forward. So whatever that is for the business or whatever, it's inside of you. So you got to find what that is. What is that thing that's trapping you? What is that thing that is like, and I see, always see, whenever I see spiderwebs, I always also think about like karmatic patterns, subconscious beliefs, like these lines that are like invisible lines that are holding us back. And so it's just a message of like, you got to break out of these, you got to break free from them. And then moving forward fearlessly. It's like, you can't even joke about this stuff. Okay, so the next card is moving forward fearlessly. So once you free yourself, go for it. Basically, like that's the idea, is like, or stop holding yourself back and just move forward. Just go with it. Trust yourself. You have to know what that is, and if you don't know what it is, then start looking for it, because it's obviously there. And oftentimes if things aren't working out or aren't flowing, of course there's a time frame, because from the inside on the outside, it takes time for the universe to catch up, the outside world. As we know, if we want to manifest things right now, we'd all be dead, because we've all had that thought, the world should end, and then everybody would be dead. So that's why things don't manifest immediately. But you know, moving that forward, making that decision, and just trusting the process. I do see financial flow. Okay, so I think you are trying to obviously call in more money, and then we do have that financial flow. But you see how there's a flow of energy, and that's the problem, is that your energy is stagnant. Your energy isn't moving because you're not moving, because something is holding you back. So it's like, again, it's like that forward movement, that stepping forward fearlessly. Just dive in, or whatever it is, because that's what's required to create that financial flow. An exciting new opportunity, career advancements, change your life now. Okay, so great. Career is going to definitely be good. It's what you asked for, but again, change is required, Mimi. So change, moving forward is the constant information that's being repeated here. Then you got the Hermit card. So I think this is like, again, look inside of you for the answers. It's like everything that you're looking, it's inside of you. So you really need to dive deep within yourself. And sometimes that's okay to do it with like a coach, or, you know, sometimes it's not something that we have to like diving deep inside ourselves. We often think of it as like, I'm going to sit in meditation and receive it, which it can be. But sometimes also diving deep within yourself could be like doing a seminar or doing a course or seeing a therapist, because they help you to go dive in deep inside yourself to discover the things that you sometimes cannot see or understand. But the point is, the answers that you're seeking for your business and for 2026 to move your business forward is inside of you. And it sounds cliche, but that's what's coming up. An unwise choice. Learn what you can from the situation. Review everyone's motives. So I don't know, again, if you're getting like, if you're surrounded by people who are giving you certain advice, or maybe, I feel like I get this with you often. It's like something to do with like people around you, maybe review everyone's motives. So it's like sometimes we get advice from people, or we get, I don't know, and it could be like they might have the best intentions, but what are their motives behind it? Is because maybe they just want to sound smart, or maybe because they think that they have the answers but they don't. So I'm not quite sure what that means for you, but just be aware of like the information that you're hearing from other people as well, because it couldn't, I don't feel like it's always what you need. It's more what they think you need. No idea what that means, but that's what I heard. But there is a career opportunity coming up this year. So career advancement. So I do feel like if you've been looking for this business to move forward, whatever it is going to move forward, but it's up to you, obviously, how much. So a reminder, it's like change your life now. Again, it's like that urgency to like commit to those changes or fulfill those changes with that risk that it may or may not happen. And I think it's not even so much if it does or doesn't happen, it's more about the energy itself of that, trusting yourself and moving forward and not making the excuses or not procrastinating. So that could be it as well, you know. Yeah, and I feel like it's the procrastination as well. So it's like that movement forward, like moving forward fearlessly. So it's like fearlessly, by the way, guys, you got to remember, it doesn't mean without fear. It means there is fear, but you just do it anyway. So that's the thing. It's like not to listen. And I think this could be the look inside of yourself. It's like, even though the action's on the outside, what is on the inside that's causing this fear? And I think that's what's coming up. It's like, what are these things that you're telling yourself that you can't do it? What are the beliefs? What is the story that you've created now that is saying I'm it's not possible for me, you know, I can't do it, or I don't know what the story is, right? And like, you just got to do it. And like you said, but it's like, I feel it anyway. I hear that BS story that I've been telling myself all the time, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Okay, procrastination. So that is probably, well, that makes sense now. That's the spider web. You see? And that's the spider web that is in your mind that stops you from moving forward. And they're just saying you just have to step forward. So even though you don't feel like it, even though you're making excuses, you can't have that. That's a non-negotiable with you anymore. I'll give you an example. Like even yesterday, I was like, I did not feel like doing a live. And I just do it anyway. I'm just like, I don't feel like it. I don't have the energy. I'm not in the, because once you're in it, then you get the motivation and then the energy moves you forward. But at that time, just the few minutes before, a million reasons why you don't want to do it. But one thing I'm good at is if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So those are the things that you need to maybe start changing within yourself. And it's like, it doesn't matter what you feel. It's not about how you feel in the situation when it comes to doing things. You just got to do it. Do it first, feel it later. So yeah, if you can break through to that, then there's going to be big advancement, but you cannot allow that to stop you anymore. It's just not gonna, it's again, non-negotiable. And you have to force yourself. It's like, you got to force yourself. It's like, I'm not compromising on this. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care how upset you are. I don't care how, whatever is going on, we're doing this, whatever it is that you plan to do. And if you can start doing that, then you train your mind, and then your mind knows it doesn't work anymore, and then it stops giving you reasons not to do things. But you have to break it. So does that make sense? Yeah, for me it's procrastination. Yeah. A lot of people have that. A lot of people have procrastination problems. But girl, I feel like if it's it, and the good news is with you, again, it's coming from you. Nobody else is doing that. So it sucks because it's like you're battling yourself in a way, but it's also a good thing because you're battling yourself. So you're in charge. So it's like that double-edged sword, right? It's harder when we're dealing with other people because it's like it's a force on the outside that is like stopping us. Although it doesn't mean it can't be any more difficult. But again, you got to start telling yourself the truth. Like, I'm choosing this. I'm telling myself this. I'm going to stop doing that. Like, sometimes we have to say it out loud. Yeah. Well, I think you got this, dude. But you got to change that. And again, it's just move forward, move forward. Whether you have to find a mantra, whether you have to write it down somewhere, where you have to maybe like use somebody else to keep you accountable. I don't know, but at this point, you got to do anything in your power not to let yourself do this anymore to yourself. It's almost like sometimes, how you hear the story of people who have grew up in abusive relationships and then later on in life, they end up abusing themselves. It's like somehow we repeat that cycle because there's comfort in that, even though it's not good for us. And I feel like that's a little bit of what's going on here for you. Does that make sense? It's like somewhere you learned this pattern and now you're just repeating it because it was done to you somehow, and now somehow it's become part of you, but it's not who you are. Good. Mimi, I know you got this. And I feel like sometimes, it's like one of those things. It's like whatever you're creating, think of it as a gift that you have to give to others. And if you don't succeed in it, then others will never get to see your gift. And it's like whatever you believe in, God or the universe gave you this gift for a reason, So sometimes if we make it bigger than ourselves, it can help us to finish it or to follow through with it, Because if you make it about us, then that's what also sometimes stops us from doing it. Okay, well, I'm sending you all of the luck, all of the love. I know you got this, girl. And then Loney, last but not least. That's good, Carla. So Jacqueline, these readings are hitting for me too tonight. You're cooking tonight. Thank you. On that note, I'm gonna go eat supper. I'll pop back if you're still here. Oh, thank you, love. Enjoy supper. Oh, thank you, Mimi. I appreciate that. Hey, hey, hey. Lodi. Like, hey, hey, hey. I can't narrow it down. I don't know what I want to ask. Could I just have a general reading, please? No. No, of course you can. So you're a 3 and a Pisces. Cool. So this is a 4-year for you then, if you're a 3. Good. I'm holding you accountable, Mimi. Good. I will send Peanut to you to bark at you if you don't. He can be feisty, little gremlin. Okay, so Loney, a 4-year for you. A 4-year essentially this is a year for you to build a foundation for something to build upon. So this is like very much long term, 10, 5, 6 years down the road. 4s are also about creating balance. So you want to create a perfect balance in this year to build whatever it is for the years to come. So this is not something that will happen for you immediately this year. 4s, I'm a ruling 4, by the way. That's my life path number. 4s have to work really hard as well. So 4s don't have it easy, but that hard work eventually pays off. And 4s don't get the reward immediately. Again, it's the foundation. So you got to think of it. Mimi, if you're an 8, then this is a 9-year for you. This is the year of completion and beginnings for you. So ending of this BS of self-sabotage and beginning of the new. And 8s are all about career, by the way. 8s, their energy moves fast. Okay, karma comes back to you. Either have a lot of money or you have no money. There's not often anything in between. And why? Because your karma moves fast this year. You do bad, bad comes back to you. You do good, good comes back to you. So just a little tip about that. So 4s, though, it's the foundation, the building again, like I said. So think of it kind of like, what would I like to establish this year that I will benefit from in 10 years time? And this is, like I said, the foundation. So think of it kind of like the roots of a tree, right? So when you build that foundation, when it's solid and when it's well made, nothing can destroy it. So it's a very powerful thing, but it's not a great thing for people who are impatient. So other thing, like I said, balance, like 2 and 2, you need to learn to balance things out, whatever that balance will be. And hard work. So this year it's going to be a bit of hard work for you. This is not a year to be lazy. This is a year to do, roll your sleeves up and get going. So let me tune into your energy. Kind of felt like that card. And then, I don't know if you're still here, Jess, but I remember you said you wanted a reading. And then I know I had somebody else who also wanted a reading. So once I'm done with Loney. Okay, so Jess, I have you after Loney. And then I know somebody else also wanted a reading. So I will... You're welcome. I didn't forget about you, see? Ooh! Sorry, I got excited. You got 2 major arcanas already, Loney. I might get Peanut. I'll see if Peanut's here. Give me 1 second, guys. You're good. Nope. My husband took the dogs. Bastard. No, he did the right thing. Okay. I got guinea pigs and rats, though, if you guys want to hang out with them. Iggy, what are you doing? I know you see me. Hi, handsomes. Okay, so a couple of things came up. So one of the things that came up, I think it's family, honestly. That's the first thing that I saw, Loney, so I don't know. I know Peanut's not here, my little nugget. So family stuff is coming up, okay? So I don't know. I think this is a year, again, to build some kind of foundation around that, okay? Or do some healing. There's a lot of emotions around this, but I do see some kind of, it's like I actually feel like somebody's passed on is looking after you guys. I don't know if you're a father or whatever. I'm just feeling like some kind of spiritual figure is actually like wanting this to be resolved. And it's like, I don't usually get, I'm not a medium. Maybe your mom. But I see, like, you see what I mean? That figure in the distance that is like looking upon the family and like sending healing. So I don't know what's going on, but there's going to be some changes around the family for sure. A favorable assessment of the facts, time to move into a new direction. So there's going to be some kind of change, okay? So I feel like this year, maybe it's your mom, I don't know, whoever, you got to trust yourself here, okay? So I would do some spiritual work around this in the sense of like really putting the intention, because I think this is affecting you obviously a lot, right? So how can I build a foundation for myself where I have that, whatever it is that you're seeking with this situation in your family? Because there's a lot of emotions, right? But we wanted the water to settle. We want the emotions to settle. We want that security. I think it's also you feeling secure with your relationship with your son, and not feeling like it's so volatile or whatever's going on. So how can you create that for yourself? And maybe it's to get some help. Maybe it's to start seeing things differently. Maybe it's to make some changes happen. I'm not quite sure. But the point is, it's time for that change. It's time for things to refresh in a way, because it's not working out the best way. I did get the Chariot as well. So moving forward, change, fast movement, important achievements, self-discipline, and willpower, public recognition. So again, I don't know if this is to do with the family, but it's like self-discipline is the word that really stood out for me. So it's like you need to change your reaction and your action to the situation, because that's how you change the relationships. And it's not going to happen immediately, but it will change them and the way that they treat you, because we teach people how to treat us. that's the thing that we have a hard time. And I heard this recently and I was like, that makes so much sense, but it sucks because then you realize this whole time I've allowed people to treat me like crap. And like I said, with my family right now, I've been changing the dynamic, and it's been very powerful because even though it still hurts, even though it still sucks, I'm not letting that crap in my system anymore. Like, I have zero tolerance for it now. So I've made very clear plans in my head on how I'm going to act, react, and speak. And as long as I follow through with it, regardless of how I feel, okay, I suddenly hold the power and I have control, or at least more control. You can't control everything, but at least I have more control of the outcome. And it has been working, and I've been tested really hard the last few, Christmas, and especially Christmas and New Year's. My parents have are really good at hitting the special days on triggering me. But I held my plan, and it worked in the sense of I didn't feel great after talking to them because I'm still very too close emotionally to it, but I felt their energy weaken in how they used to impact me and affect me. And so I feel like this is something that you need to start practicing for yourself, Loni. And I'm not sure what it is for you, but that's something that you have to figure out for yourself. So maybe with your son, you always just oh, okay, well, whatever, babe. Maybe it's to speak up. Maybe it's to put your foot down, or maybe it's to, I don't know, have more self-respect. I don't know what it is again, but that, whatever that is, you kind of have to start implementing that and have the discipline of it, because you're teaching him your value and how to treat you, if that makes any sense. Memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. Okay, kind of obvious. And what I'm hearing here, Loni, as well, there's a synchronicity here between your child and your inner child. So I'm thinking here, what I'm hearing is you need to heal a little bit of your inner child to heal the relationship with your child. There is some kind of link here. And again, it might not be your adult self because he can't relate to that, but he can relate to little you. And so I would suggest there's some kind of healing that needs to happen there. And you did get this card as well. So when this card comes up, it's oftentimes shadow work. It's the things in the shadow that need to come to the light that we are not seeing. And this oftentimes refers to past trauma, unhealed past trauma. So I feel like there's something here that you can heal from yourself, from your inner child, that is again related to your son. So it's almost like if you started seeing your son as little you, can you see something in there that there's some sort of connection, or I don't know, but there is something there that I'm feeling a very strong pull that needs that healing. And I think once you heal yourself, you can heal him as well, because you've healed yourself and now you have the answers to help him with it. Does that make sense? Even if it's just energetic, because you got to remember that he's your blood. So when we heal ourselves, we're not just healing ourselves, we're healing our families, our generations, and future generations. This is why people break the cycles, right? They break the patterns, the cycles in families, and then they break it for everybody. So there's something here that is connected to that for you. The other thing is, again, my love, self-care, okay? You got to start taking better care of yourself. You got to start valuing yourself a lot more and taking care of your heart, of your feelings, of your emotions, prioritizing that again. And it might be something related to the inner child stuff, where you were taught that you are not important, not valuable, not priority, and now you're going to start prioritizing yourself. Again, that's building self-respect, and that's also, again, teaching people how to treat you, because if you treat yourself with respect, trust me, people who respect themselves do not tolerate a lot of crap. So again, there could be a little bit of that in there. So this is a big year, essentially, for you to do a ton of freaking healing. With your family, with your inner child, and with yourself. And this foundation is one of the most powerful and important ones, because this can really change your future in so many ways. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. I have a hamster that wants to come out, and if I don't let him out now, he's not gonna try and trap the guinea pigs. It's gonna be difficult. Hi sweetie, do you wanna come out? You want to come? No? Okay. You don't have to. I thought you wanted it. Sorry. Um, okay, so does that make sense? I thought the hamster wanted to come out, so I had to lock the guinea pigs quickly in. Yeah, it's a big one, but it can be a very powerful transformational one for you, and it can really like change a lot of things in your life. These are the type of healings that change the course of many things, not just for yourself, but for others as well. So you got this, but you asked. It's kind of like a heavy one, but not in a bad way, you know. So why do I always have to for so much work? What do you mean? Sorry, why do I always have to? You mean work so much for everything? Why do I always have to do so much work? So, Loni, the truth of the matter is that those of us who do the work, you could not, you could start drinking and coping with it in other ways, which is what most people do, you don't have to. But I think a lot of the times what happens with the work, and this is something that I feel you because I've had to do a lot of work myself, and I'm still doing a lot of work, and it does get exhausting after a while. It's like, but I rather do the work than not do the work, because if we don't do the work, what ends up happening is that we're the people who are harming others and harming this planet. Hurt people, healed people, heal people. And I think this is something that you chose in this lifetime. And I think always you got to remember that even though it feels like a lot of work, sometimes what I tell myself, it could be a lot worse. I'm lucky that I have the things that I have. And sometimes that's when we have to shift from victim mentality, which you are. I'm not taking that away from you, but into gratitude mentality. What are the things that I do have? Because there's still people out there who have it way worse than me. And so I chose a crappy life, but it could be way worse, So we have to try and change that perspective. And I'm not taking away the pain and the suffering and the work that you're putting in, but you should have a little bit more self-respect because of the choices that you're making, and understanding that you should hold your head up high because of that. Because like I said, you could be doing what 90% of people do and just drink and do drugs and pretend everything's great. And in the meantime, destroy everything around them because they have no awareness that unawareness is causing the suffering and the pain in this world. So the healing work is the most important thing that we have to do in order to stop. I don't think, personally, from what I've received, and I honestly hate to say it, but I hope not, I don't want this planet to continue. And I don't mean the planet, I mean humans on this planet. We're not good for it. We don't respect each other. We don't respect this planet. I think we were here for a reason. I just don't think that we should be somewhere else. We can't destroy everything else, But having said that, you should not stop trying. You should not stop healing. You should not stop pushing through. I mean, what other choice do you have at this point? It's either one or the other, So just remember that. And I feel you, and I've thought of it, and that's usually my answer to all of that. You know what I mean? Lona, we all have to do a lot of work. It's just different types of work. Yeah, I heard that. Learning to love the grind for the work in itself itself. Perfection is a process. Yes. And the other thing as well, guys, the truth of the matter is that when we do the healing work, we have to remember, hey Aji, no, not yet, I'll be with you in 1 second though, love. Now I lost my train of thought. Right. Healing is never going to end on this planet. So sometimes we do the healing work and we think there's going to be like an end to it. It's like, oh, I've healed, now everything's great. The truth of the matter is, if you can get that out of your head, it doesn't work like that. There's so much that needs to be healed, and until everybody's healed, no one's healed. So the truth of the matter is, this is going to be a lifelong process, and there's just different stages to it. So when we accept that, it makes it easier, or you can just give up. Either way. Okay, hi Aji. Yes, absolutely. So right now I have Jess first. Jess is next in line. And then, hey Servan, Stravan. I can't say the name. That's a beautiful name. And then once after Jess, I will take questions after that. So just give me 1 second. You're welcome. So you're a 6 Libra. Cool. So Libra and Geminis are a perfect match. So we're a perfect match. So 6, this means it's a 7-year for you, okay? So just 7 is a spiritual number. It's the number, okay. So 7 is the number also of intellectual. So 7s are very smart, usually. And this means this is a year of learning and growing up here. So learning new information, growing your knowledge, study. This could also mean you're going back to study or you're learning something new. I'm doing people's life path numbers and year numbers, sorry. So the energy of the number of the year for this year, for what it is for you. So when I get you next, I'll just, if you know your life path number, then just let me know and then I can tell you what your year number is, which is just +1 really this year. So 7s as well have to be careful though, not to shut down. So 7s can get they can drain a lot of energy out of people because what happens is they're in 2 places at once. So oftentimes they're so much in their heads that they're not paying attention, or they're trying to just too much is going on mentally. The other thing is 7s is not usually a good year for relationships, although 7 and 11s do really well. So it is not quite it's a 1 year, so it's not too bad. But 7s have a hard time in relationships in general. Okay, so where to focus my attention to build the foundation to move on forward. I know my current situation needs to change and I guess what actions should I be taking or where should I focus on set those strong foundations for the next steps. Okay. Okay, so I felt these ones. Let's find out. Thanks for hanging out, guys, by the way. I see a lot of people just hanging out and just chilling. I always appreciate that when you guys just come and listen. I see you. I feel your energy. Sending you guys so much love and appreciation for hanging out. And guys, always make sure to check out some of my meditations, my courses, all that sort of stuff on Insight Timer. We love Insight Timer. They've been amazing for me. They've been such a beautiful community, and I really respect and appreciate the people who built it because they did something that is needed, Okay. So, an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action. I think it's pretty straightforward, Jess. So whatever this feeling, the reason why is you haven't been making the changes is because you've been basically telling yourself this story that is really attached to your ego, which is normal. And again, when I talk about ego, guys, just a quick reminder, I'm not talking about being up yourself. Ego is what you identify with. The body is the ego because the body's going to die. And so it clings on to ideas, identity, all that sort of stuff. So it's an illusion. You're not trapped. There's nothing holding you back. It's just you don't have confidence in yourself that you can do it. And that's really the thing that's stopping you. So oftentimes we have to just basically rewire the story, rewrite the story in our heads. And the story could be something like, again, I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to trust myself and I'm going to figure it out. I'm smart. I can learn. It's not going to be easy at first, but I can figure it out. It's like whenever we try anything new, when no one has all the answers, but the difference between people who follow through and the people who don't is the people who take action and figure it out, and then the other people just don't allow themselves to take that step because they feel like they have to have all the answers first before they move forward, and it doesn't work like that. No one's done that. Nobody starts a business with every single answer and knowing exactly what to do. They figure it out as they go. So whatever this change is, you're gonna have to trust yourself enough to know that you can figure it out and have that belief in yourself, because that's what's gonna give you the courage to make that step. If you don't have that belief, then you're never gonna move out because it's too comfortable. It's too secure. Great sadness. Take time to heal. The need to forgive yourself and others. So again, there's just also on top of everything else, what I'm hearing here is there's just a lot of emotions attached to this situation. And so it's you add the practical physical thing to change, and then you add the emotions on top of that. So there's attachment, there's and again, I don't know if I'm feeling like it could be also like a relationship or something. So let's just say it is a relationship. The problem with relationships, whether it's friendships or an actual relationship, we become almost like addicted to the person because we've been around that energy for so long, and we've been exchanging and created an energetic exchange for so long that it's when we know that there's going to be this empty void once we separate, or once this change happens. And this could be things as well. It doesn't have to just be like a person. I think I've been wanting to for a clear answer to take the action, but I need to just trust. It is my current relationship. Yeah, so that's what I've been feeling. Yeah, I know. And it's hard because, of course, you also feel responsible for the other person. You feel like, if I don't, what, again, it's the story. Oh, it's not the right time. It's their birthday. Their grandmother just passed away. There's always going to be a reason why we can't leave. There's always going to be a reason why it's not the right time. There's always going to be a reason why we should stay. And, if we're not happy, if it's not working, the best thing that we can do for them and for ourselves is to just move on. Relationships don't really ever end. Sometimes they just change into something different. And you can't allow something new in if your heart is full, even if it's full of something that isn't what you love. So there's this, again, like I said, there's just this heaviness, this emotional heaviness, this burden, this like attachment on top of everything else, and it's not gonna be fun. That's the truth of the matter. Is like, breaking up sucks. And what I mean sucks, it's painful, it's awful, it's all of the things. And sometimes it involves even like, if people like have built a life together, it means like assets and all that. So it's hard. Sometimes people don't even want to break up just because, oh, we have a house together, we have this together. And then I'm like, they're things. They're things. They don't really matter at the end. When you die, you're not going to bring the house with you. So what really matters is like our happiness right now, and how we can feel good about ourselves now. Being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, giving to those less fortunate. So I don't know if some part of you is also somewhat financially dependent on this person, or they're giving you that financial security, or it doesn't even have to be financial. It might be even like emotional, because money can also symbolize energy, right? So let's just say you're somebody who doesn't like being single, and being with somebody just gives you that comfort, and that could be the energetic exchange that you're getting. So sometimes I've seen people being in the worst horrible relationship. Like, I don't even understand how they could be in this, and they were just staying just because they don't want to be single. So this person was literally like living in their home, abusing, stealing money from them. Like, it was insane to me. But this person has such trauma around being alone that they would rather put up with that than being by themselves. So sometimes we have to look at that as well. Like, this is a bit of more of an extreme, but it's like, what is it within me that feels like I can't give this to myself, and I need this person to fulfill it? Because sometimes we don't break up because of those reasons. We don't want to be alone. We don't think we can find love anywhere else. We don't think we're pretty enough, good enough, blah, 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 whatever the story is, right? We're not going to find somebody who's better than them, so this will do. Again, we have to also look at our ego and our attachments and be honest with ourselves about that, and that's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you anything else, because that is human nature. That's who we are. And looking at those things and shining the light upon those things can help you understand how you can start giving it to yourself, so that you can then heal it and then not need it from somebody else, When I started release work, I felt like it too never ended. I worked on it for well over a year before I really began to feel lighter. It takes time. Be patient with yourself and keep moving forward. Yeah, thank you so much, Jamie. So, and yeah, again, just don't feel bad for the things that the petty things or the silly things. Like, I also feel like that's coming up. It's like, don't feel bad. Like, you're a freaking human being. Like, we all have, every single person that is here today can tell you that they will have something that is there when it comes to that, And I know myself, you know, I mean, I used to be in extremely abusive relationships because, again, I had such bad abandonment issues that I was just like, I can't, like, you know, I'd rather put up with somebody beating me up than being single. The fear of being alone was just terrifying for me, you know. So probably now that I think about it, is like more, I just didn't want to go back to my family. Maybe, I don't know. Poor things. My family tried really hard. It's not like they were horrible, abusive people. It's just, I think for me, it triggered a lot of bad stuff. But anyway, so does that make sense, Jess? Yeah, thank you for the reading and encouragement. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, guys. So anybody else who would like a quick reading now? Now it's the time. Speak now or forever be silent. Yeah, good. Well, best of luck, Jess. It's not easy, you know. And I've also linked down underneath the course, Build Self-Worth and Confidence. That's a good one, you know, to give you the courage and the strength, whatever you need right now. Hey, Debbie. Yeah, sure. What's your question? Anybody else here? I'm just going to do a quick one. Aji, yes, I remember you. So, Aji, I think Aji was first, Debbie, if you don't mind. So, Aji, what's your question? And then, Debbie, what's your question? And anybody else, if you guys are still there. I don't know where I got. Oh, that's right, SNL. Now I remember where I got that from. I feel like sometimes I got like levels of Tourette's where I have to like let things out. What's in my head? That's what was in my head just then. So Aji, what's your question, love? You guys know SNL is like, I'm Marin, I'm Karen, and I'm Judy. Do you guys ever see that one? I hope somebody's resonating with it. With okay, it might not be a question after all, but would like some guidance on kind of struggling with addiction. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I feel very weak in taking control over it. I am thinking of going abroad to distance myself, but it is a big fear that it does no solution and is only an escape my troubles. Well, actually, there is something to that, Aji. There is studies done around. I mean, it depends again what your environment is. The only reason why moving abroad would not work is if you fall back into the crowd that can get you back into your addiction. But I'll give you an example. I'm not going to say who it is because I don't know if they would like me to. Well, who cares? My dad was a heroin addict when he was a teenager. And my grandmother went to Italy. She put him on a plane to Australia, and that saved his life. So sometimes the change of environment can be the very thing that is the stepping stone, but that is just taking you out of the environment, because that environment does have an effect on addiction. The frequency, the people, the energy, the memories, attachment to, you know, whatever it is. There's a lot to that. Again, though, if you go and move and then you go and use again, then that's obviously not going to help you, just creating another cycle. So if you were going to move, I would suggest get yourself as clean as you can, or have a plan in place to help you not to fall back into that addiction wherever you're going. And that can actually serve you a lot. So there is something to that. So let's just see. And by the way, speaking for somebody who had addiction problems as well. So, and I also used to work in rehabs for a long time. So let's see what comes up. Apparently that card really wanted to go. Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the card. No shit. Okay. Past when you remain in the environment that broke you. Oh, I love that, Tim. Tim, wisdom for the day. You should write a book. Seriously. Aw. You're welcome, Loney. Okay, so my love, a couple of things. Now, this is a great question just for everybody, and thank you so much for sharing this, by the way, Aji, because this is going to help a lot of people. So, ego came up. Okay, so when we think of addiction, you have to think of identity. Now, as somebody who's been addicted to something, we identify with the substance, with the identity that is the user. So for me, it was weed, and it was really bad. Like, I was smoking like in my freaking sleep. Bob Marley had a poster of me in his room. Okay, just to give you an idea how much of a stoner I was. So, and it was painful. Like, I would have like, I need it. It was just like horrible. So what I realized at the time is that I was identifying myself as a stoner, and I was proud of that identity. Now, I also smoked tobacco, and I always identified myself as a smoker. So that identity had to shift. And what I started doing was, I first and foremost understood that it was a process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. But the second thing is, you have to identify yourself as somebody new. As long as you call yourself an addict, or see yourself as the person who is addicted to this substance, whatever it is, okay, you are creating a bond, a relationship with that identity, with that substance, with that pattern, with that behavior, with that program, and you're embedding it into your subconscious, like, this is who I am. So you have to change that. So when I wanted to quit smoking tobacco, I started telling myself, I'm not a smoker. I hate smoking. It's disgusting. It's the grossest thing ever. Obviously, I didn't believe it at first, but I played the game in my head that was the most repulsive thing on the planet. That starts creating a change energetically and emotionally with the substance. The second thing that I also started doing was, I no longer created the substance as my friend, but I started seeing it as my enemy. So weed was my friend. She was the only one who showed up to me whenever I felt depressed, and I knew exactly what I was getting. I knew she was going to make me feel better, and that was the only solution that I had. And she was my friend. She was my medicine. But the minute I started seeing her as a very bad, evil thing that was actually sabotaging my life, my desire for it started changing. And so, again, going back to the message of the card, it's like, what are you identifying with? And your relationship with this addiction, with this pattern, with this whatever, you have to shift that. It can no longer be a positive relationship that is serving you. No addict wants to be an addict, obviously, but when they're addicted to something, it's serving them, or you wouldn't do it. Even heroin, even whatever it is, it's serving them. They know it's bad, but it's still serving them in one way or another. So you have to change that. I can only tell you what I did. I committed to sobriety for 1 year. And the reason why I did that, I gave myself the option to go back if things didn't work out. Because if you give yourself all or nothing, sometimes for some people that doesn't work. But I had to have the option. I was like, you know what? I'm going to commit to this for a year, because my life was terrible. Nothing worked. So, and I knew weed was the problem. So I said to myself, and you got to think of it this way, right? Whatever you put into your system, it changes your frequency. So when I was smoking, if whatever you're using, it changes your energy. Like, you're ingesting something, your energy goes here, goes there, goes down. And so it shifts your natural frequency, which means it makes it harder for you either to manifest or to maintain something. And I understood that very well. And I was like, well, I can't get my life together as long as I keep smoking, because I don't even know what my natural frequency is, because I was smoking for 15 years. 15, okay? Like, every single day. So I was like, I don't even know what my natural frequency is. How am I supposed to manifest or bring about what I want? So I was like, okay, I'm going to give myself 1 year of sobriety. And if nothing changes, I'm going to commit to this. But if nothing changes, I'm going to go back. And obviously everything changed, so I never went back. And because I knew I was right. But I committed. And I don't know if that helps, but that's just a little tip out there. Falling in love, awaiting a proposal, the need to balance emotion, an invitation or social events. So I don't know if this is something that you're doing socially or by yourself, or it creates a level of relationship. So the other thing with addiction, my friend, is that you cannot hang around the same people. Hate to tell you, but you can't be an alcoholic and go to a bar and hang out with your old friends and not expect yourself to drink. You can't be a smoker and hang out with your stoner friends and not expect yourself to smoke. So whatever it is that you're doing, unfortunately, I'm sorry, I have to be the bearer of that. Those people are not going to stop. And as long as you hang around them, they're certainly not going to help you, because unless they're sober, there's just no freaking way. And that's another thing that I had to realize, is like, it's sad because there's also a fear of loneliness when it comes to that, because we have to let go of those groups. You cannot get sober around people who are using. It's just not going to happen. Maybe now, like 20 years later, sure. But not when it's just fresh. So the reality is, this is another reason why moving can also be helpful, because family as well. Well, that's even worse. So it's, you know what I mean? So the moving, I don't want to, like, I think the moving is going to be good for you, especially if you're still living with family, and if you're around family, that's a hard one to break. So you have to move out of that environment. It's just, unless you can be stronger than it, unless you can be bigger than it, and I'm not saying it's not doable, I'm just saying it's going to be even harder than what it's going to be. So you can always come back, but there needs to be a break from that frequency and that energy that's influencing you. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. So again, I feel like there's a codependency here with the situation, with your family, with this group, and there needs to be some sort of independence here. As long as you identify with this group. And again, addiction can also be the thing that bonds you to them. So when you take away the addiction, you might discover that there isn't much behind it, and that can also be very terrifying. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach. Deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. So again, it's not even just about blaming everybody else in the situation. It's just more being understanding that they don't know what they don't know. But yeah, I think it's pretty clear there. So yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I think it's very clear. I'm just giving you the tips of things that came up, and it's very, very clear of your identity, and identity also with your family now. This is like all linked in, right? So you got to find that courage. You got to find that confidence to make that change, because honestly, it's very unlikely that we can change if we're in the same environment. And they've done studies, by the way, with this, with even people who, you know, want to become wealthy. You know, it's like, if you come from a very poor area, if you look at every single person in that area, no one makes it in that area. The ones that make it are the ones who leave that environment and go somewhere else. There's a reason for that. So I would highly recommend you do some research on this, and just, there's a reason why you also have the impulse to leave. Fear is always going to be there. But also you got to ask yourself, where's this fear coming from? Because is it coming from trying to keep you there and trying to keep you in the same pattern and the comfort, or is it trying to keep you from, you know, there is something really to be afraid of, basically. So yeah, Aji, thank you so much for sharing with us. You got to trust yourself though, and you got to also educate yourself a little bit more on the situation. And I would say what I mean by educating yourself is like looking into people who broke out, looking into people, what did they do to heal themselves when it comes to this? Because that's what's going to inspire you, and that's what's going to give you the motivation to see if they did it, so can I. Okay. Debbie, you're next. You're welcome. I have been married for 33 years and feel like we have moved apart. Aw. What do I need to do to get back to the way we were? Okay. Oh, okay. So, Debbie, what I'm hearing here is, first and foremost, I will tell you something. When it comes to relationship, we got to stop holding on to what was and look into what they can become. So when we keep going back to the past, to something that was, we cannot have it because it's gone. This doesn't mean it can't change into something beautiful again, okay? But what I'm saying is, stop looking at what was great about it, because that's already gone, okay? So we're going to look into the future and what we can build this new relationship into becoming something better. So the first card that came up is Shine from Within. You've lost your light, Debbie. And because you've lost your light, because this is affecting you in such a heavy way, we get into cycles and patterns in relationships that we don't even realize. And this is something I tell my husband a lot, because I noticed him doing this, and he takes the situation for granted sometimes. And so I remind him things like, dude, like, do you remember that time that I almost died? Like I drove your car inside the house and I was pinned underneath it. Yeah, things can change like that. So don't ever take things for granted, because you don't know what could happen. One minute you think you have everything, and when you start getting lazy, when you start unappreciating things, you're going to regret it. And so you don't want to regret it. So don't lose that light. Don't lose that love. Don't lose that desire. And it's also like, don't allow this to dim your light either. So it's like, maybe, I feel like you guys need to re-spark something. There's that connection, that dance, that joy, that pleasure. The love is still there, I feel, but it's just that excitement is gone. And that means you got to do something out of the box. You got to do something that is like surprising. So this is a time for self-acceptance and for revealing your true beauty. So think about it this way, and the only thing that you can use from the past that you can bring to now, it's kind of like things like, do you remember how it made you feel when you were in love? Do you remember the emotions and how it made you feel invincible? I always love the joke. It was like this comedian who said, when you're first in love, and she's like, sweetie, could you take the trash? And he's like, absolutely, I will take the trash out for you any day. And then 20 years down the track, it's like, sweetie, can you take the trash? And it's like, oh, you do it. That's the difference, right? So how can we get back to, yes, sweetie, I'll take out the trash for you again? It's like reactivating that passion, that love. What did you love about him? What did you love about yourself when you were with him? What did it bring out of you? What was that light, that feeling, that whatever it was, right? So we don't need them necessarily to bring that back. We just got to tune into it again and reactivate it within ourselves. Closing all these things. So that's one thing. The other thing, music came up. Okay, so I don't know if music is something that connected you guys, or maybe this is how you met, or music is one way for you to feel better about yourself, whatever it is. So music came up. So it's like, dance, have fun, allow that flow free, allow that movement, right? Because it's like that energy now is solidified, it's stuck, it's like you're a statue inside, right? And so you got to crack out of it and just let that energy just flow in you, so that you can feel that movement of energy again. We used to dance in the kitchen every day after work. Well, there you go. I mean, hello, look at that. Literally, that came out, so don't lose those things. Bring it back. And I think that's the only thing that you can bring back from the past, but you can't bring back some of the same exact relationship. It evolves into something new, and then it became something else, and now it can become something better. But you gotta, you both have to do the work. Of course, it takes two to tango, no pun intended, in a relationship. But you gotta celebrate the relationship. You gotta celebrate your love. You gotta start, surprise him one day. Be at home, play the music, fucking blast it, and be dancing naked. I mean, hopefully that gets him excited. But but you know what I mean? Like, how can you spice it up again? How can you surprise him? How can you make him feel alive again? Because he's probably asleep too. And I mean, I think it's gotten harder now that, who cares how old you are? I always like to tell the story. My husband's grandmother, she's 100 and she has a boyfriend. So never too old to do anything. And again, is that the story that you're telling yourself, right? It's inappropriate. We're old. The blah, like, I don't know what the story is, right? Fuck all of that. Excuse my French again, guys. I apologize for my language, but those of you who know me, I'm very expressive with my language. But it's because it gets me fired up, because it's like, you gotta have that attitude. You gotta just be like, dude, you have one life. You have one love, this relationship. Well, then don't be mom and dad anymore. So now, again, it's like an identity shift, right, Debbie? It's like, you gotta stop identifying yourself as mom and dad, where Debbie and whatever his name is, right? So go back to having that, because before you had kids, you weren't mom and dad. And kids, of course, change everything. That's natural. But now that they're gone, you two can, like, do your thing. So you have to just reestablish a new relationship. You have to recreate it. And I would suggest even sitting down and making a list of things that you loved about your relationship, and how can you bring that in, but as your new selves. How can this old self fit into the new self? And sometimes you got to do something crazy, man. Like, I know I'd be open to that with my husband at some point. I'd be like, you know what? Let's just go to like a dungeon somewhere. Or I don't care. Like, whatever. It's like, whatever works. Go as crazy and as wild, because who cares? As long as you're not harming anybody. You two, just whatever you need to bring back that spice, to bring back that love, to bring back that passion, to make something exciting in the relationship again. Because you get into that routine and you're asleep. And that's sad, because it doesn't have to be that way. You can change that. Maybe go on a date, surprise him to go out on a date, a dance class somewhere. Like, there's so many things that we can do, but life and work and kids and all this other stuff get in the way, and we lose the passion of life. Do something wild and crazy and stupid. Who cares? Whatever it is, but even just talking about it, it makes us like, that kind of like sounds like fun. And you're like, oh no, I couldn't do that. Why not? The only thing that's stopping you, it's you. So the dance needs to come back, okay? That's obvious. They cannot make any, they just put music and two people dancing. So, I mean, you guys, and don't let that light dim, okay? So you got to do whatever you got to do to make that light. Because if you want this relationship to be what it is again, or what it was in its new form, you have to activate it. And that's up to you guys, Does that make sense? So I would sit down and brainstorm all the things that you want back in this relationship, or that you're missing, and then figure out ways to recreate it. And then once you initiate it, maybe then he can also get in on it, in the sense of you can tell him, it's like, look, we got to stop being asleep. This is what we need to do. Can you help me with this? And don't be afraid to communicate that to your husband either. Like I said, today I communicate a lot of things to my husband today. I was like, when you do this, I feel unsafe, and therefore I'm going to become this person. I need you to do this for me, because if you don't do this, then don't get mad at me if I'm like this. I've told you why I need you to be like this, and it's not fair that I have to do it all the time, and he said that, he was like, yeah, I understand, you're right. And I was like, great. But if I never communicate that, I can't expect him to figure it out. And then if he doesn't do anything about it, well, then I'll beat him up. No, I'm joking. I would never do that. But you know what I mean? It's just like, communication is important, and we forget that it's okay to ask for what we need, but we also got to know what we need. C'est la vie. But you got this, Debbie. And also, there's counselors out there. There's love therapists, I mean, I'm open to that one day. D, sure, I will still do a reading. I'll take one more before we close. What's your question, love? So yeah. And relationships, guys, we got to work on them. It's not something that, unfortunately. Oh, you're welcome, Debbie. Okay. My cards. Did Interesting. Sorry. I'm just going to get some more information. Okay, so, D, one of the things... Oh, wow. Okay, 3 cards came out immediately. Work life. So one of the things I got is environment. So one of the things that came up was the crystal witches. So the crystal witches often mean that there is some sort of energy in the environment, possibly of work, that isn't in alignment with you. Or it's basically needs to change. So I don't know if you want to change job, or you're looking for another job or another path, whatever it may be, but or even if you want to stay in the same job but you want it to change, not quite sure. But the ideas that I'm getting here is that you have to not just focus on the job itself, but more on the energy of the job that you're calling in. An environment, a type of environment, a type of frequency, a type of like, how do you want to feel by the end of the day when you leave your work? Because what I'm hearing here is like, when we get the crystal witches, it means that your environment is influencing you a lot. And so oftentimes if we're in a toxic environment, it's very damaging, because you're spending how many hours at work a day, and that energy is influencing you to the point where it's not good. Okay, so if you're looking to shift into a new job, or if you're looking to change the energy in your environment, then this is something that you have to think about. Because sometimes we look, oh, it's that person, or it's this situation, or if only this person is like, yes and no. You have the power to change that dynamic by the way that you change your perception, your choices, and your reaction to the people, places, and things. So the other card that came up here is like, you're feeling a little bit lost, obviously, right? So there's a sense of like, I'm kind of lost. I don't know what to do. And so this is a card especially that's like telling you to go back to your path. Nothing is ever truly lost. You simply need time to reflect, process, and trust divine timing. Clarity will come to you. Quiet your mind and allow the answers to flow. Be patient with yourself, and soon you will know exactly what to do. So wanting the answers right now as well, I think it's like, I feel like maybe you've made some kind of decision, or you kind of like are fed up with something, or you're ready for something new. There's a decision that's been made, and now there's the impatience of that thing happening right here, right now. So when this card comes up, essentially it's like, you got to be patient, because you got to really dive deep into yourself and understand what it is that you really want. Again, being aware of, number one, the factor of the energy and the experience that you want to have in this job. The other card that came up was the shapeshifter. So you want to have a win-win situation. So let's just say that you are going to stay in this job, or maybe you're looking for a job. I don't know, again, but the shapeshifter is about looking for the win-win outcome. So it's not like somebody doesn't have to win and the other person has to lose to make it right. There can be a win-win outcome. So yeah, there might be some level of sacrifice that may need to be done, but it doesn't mean that, you can't win either here. So there can be something that you can find. So let's just say you're looking for another job. Look for something where it's like, again, yeah, you can have that and you can have that. And sure, you might have to compromise a little bit, but you can still have that. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It's not always just black and white. There are shades in between. There's something about the inner child that came up. So going back again to your path, to who you are, the reason why you want to do things, like there's like childlike, even like energies, like this childlike wonder. There's like this activating of like excitement maybe that needs to be reactivated. And then strength and grace through kindness and confidence and forgiveness. Keep your eyes on the big picture. Leave the details to other. Experience that leads to success. Genuine concern for others. So I don't know if this is like a job that basically also like maybe, I don't know if there's like a boss as well involved, or it's more like responsibility. I'm hearing like a level of responsibility. So maybe it's like the reason why I haven't left, or I haven't changed, or I haven't taken action, or I feel the burden of everything is because there is a level of heaviness and responsibility. I feel responsible for this and that, and you're taking on more than is necessary for yourself. So having the strength as well to be kinder to yourself, and to forgive whoever is giving you this pressure, whether it's yourself or somebody else. They don't know any better. So bringing back the kindness and the gentleness. You need a bit more softness in this environment wherever you are. It's just draining your energy and it's not doing good. So again, childlike and kindness needs to come back, whether it is to look for a new job again, or whether it is to change the dynamics in this job. So I'll obviously need a little bit more information about that, but that's essentially the message that came up to you around this job, or a job, or career and work life. So in order to balance it out, be aware of the influence of the environment and how can you change that, whether it's to put boundaries up, whether it's to leave, whether it's to change, whether it's to say, again, boundaries are the way also to do it. And then be patient enough with yourself and bring back that love, that joy, that lightness, that kindness. And don't take on more than you need to, because it's not all for you to carry. So finding the adaptability and the win-win in the situation. Does that make sense? Win-win in the situation. Why am I always making everything into a song? She's mentally ill. Yes, makes perfect sense. Good. Sweet, guys. All right. Well, I gotta go and feed the little rescue. I've got. Oh, thank you so much, Dee. I appreciate it. I've got all the animals that I gotta feed. But thank you so much, guys, for hanging out. Thank you, everybody, for giving the donations. As always, I so appreciate it. Thank you for those of you who just like hung out and just watched the live. Hopefully, I was entertaining. And I'm not that I'm trying to be entertaining. I'm literally like this all the time, unless I'm having a bad day, in which case I'm still like this, just more sadder, which doesn't happen very often anymore these days. But yeah, so any questions as well before we want to close, feel free to ask as I'm like packing up. Thank you, Karen. I'm so glad that you found me. So any questions before I finished? Thank you, Dida. I love your picture, by the way. I love the flowers. Yeah, make sure that you guys follow me on Insight Timer, that you subscribe. I always make new meditations, guided meditations. I'm going to try and make a ton of new courses on Insight Timer. So any suggestions as well, I'm always happy to receive. If there's a course that you want to learn on something, feel free to leave a comment. I'm always happy to get suggestions. I have a list of things that I might want to create this year. If you want to check out anything else about me, feel free to check out my website. It's linked in my bio. And obviously keep an eye out for all of the courses that I have. There's a ton of courses that are very helpful. Shielding your energy, building self-worth, manifestation, love, spirit guides, connecting with your angels. I got it all there. I'll pin that for you, my love. Loney. Let me see. It is attract your soulmate, heal and manifest to open to love. Jesus, I can't read. I just pinned it there, so I think you guys can click. Yay! Well, I'm so glad I got to hang out with you guys. Okay, so I will try to be back here next week on Friday. I believe I should be able to be here next week. And that's it, y'all. As always, thank you. And have a magical day. I will see you soon, guys. Thank you. Bye. Bye, Tim.